Hi guys, I've just looked at the Voge Spain page for the new revised Voge 300 Rally for 2025, and the offer that was available prior to Christmas, the month prior to Christmas for Black Friday with a €600 discount has now ended. A lot of people were holding off getting the bike prior to Christmas because they thought the new Euro 5 Plus bike would be slightly different, some new modifications and upgrades. And looking through this new blurb for the 2025 bike, it is exactly the same as the previous bike. The price has gone back up to the original price. I paid €3,800. You can see it's now back to 4,487. The insurance previously was included in the price, so you got the free insurance for 12 months. That is now a promotion to the 31st of January. The most interesting thing about the bike, if we look, is the bike is identical in its design and its looks. This is the model I've bought, the grey yellow model, and you can see the bike in its entirety is the same bike. But the interesting point from this particular new updated 2025 webpage is the torque and the power are exactly the same, even on the Euro 5 Plus, so it's not affected the potential of the bike. Everything about the bike is the same, but when we get down to the details section, and you've got a section where you can swipe through photographs and go across, as I was swiping across, one thing I found really interesting, and it's on this particular screenshot now. If I zoom in, you'll notice straight away, or some of you will notice straight away, there's a gear indicator, but there's no fuel gauge. So the earlier models didn't have a fuel gauge. They had a low fuel warning light. The later models, certainly my model from 2024, had a fuel gauge and a low fuel light. So you have the 4 or 5 bars, full tank going down just alongside the gear indicator. And you can see clearly in this photo that there's no fuel gauge on the dash. The rest of the bike is exactly the same. The next thing I just want to point out is that we thought there was going to be LED lighting to the front on the 2025 model, and you can see there's an halogen bulb on there. Now, previously I thought, looking at these screen grabs, that some of the photos were maybe stock photos of old bikes, so they use previous photos that they've had for photo shoots. Prior to Christmas, I looked on the South American websites, excuse me, and all their bikes do not have a fuel indicator. Even the Black Knight version that they've got there has a low fuel indicator. So thinking it was a fault with the pictures and maybe old pictures, I went down to the technical section, as you can see, and everything about the bike is the same: engine, electronics, power, maximum torque, compression, everything on the bike's the same. Cycle parts are the same, so tyres, front, rear suspension, the travel's the same. There was talk about upgraded or new suspension. It's exactly the same suspension as before. The brakes are the same. But what's interesting, as you go down past the dimensions and everything and the running weight, when you get down to instrumentation, you've got instrumentation, ECU, battery, instrumentation, digital speedometer, digital total and trip odometer, digital tachometer, and injection fault indicator. And underneath that, you've got low fuel level indicator. Now, on the 2024 model, on this particular section, you had fuel gauge noted there. If we look at the equipment further down, we can see that's exactly the same as the 2024 model: side stand, tool set, burst switch, side stand switch, emergency switch. And if you look at the next setting, halogen LED lighting, a lot of people were hoping that would be total LED. So the front headlights are still LED, as the picture I've just shown you. So yeah, guys, basically it's the same model as the 2024 model, with some upgrade mapping to the ECU to comply with Euro 5 Plus, but basically exactly the same model as before, same colours as before, with the omission of the fuel gauge. So those of you who are hanging out for the new bike for possible upgrades, I'm afraid it's the same bike as before, retrograded on the fuel gauge, so you no longer have that. So there's some backward engineering there slightly. So guys, interesting and noteworthy page. Check your own country on Voge. I know in the UK there is no official Voge page. It's imported by MotoGP. France, Italy, Germany and Spain and Portugal have dedicated Voge dealerships and their own footprint in those countries. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Ride safe. Happy New Year to all of you. Enjoy your bikes, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ride safe, guys, and peace out.